Hi, welcome to a very strange version of Back to School Night, and welcome. Because, since we can't be here together, our goal with all of this is to just give you a chance to see sort of who your students' teachers are, who your children's teachers are, and a little bit about the class that we teach. So my name is Janine Christ, and I am teaching AP European History. And I have to say, thank you, a huge thank you. Your children are absolutely wonderful and so polite and so sweet. And it's been a real joy, even in this setting, to get to teach them a little bit about European history. They've just been real troopers working through all of the issues that we're facing. And I just couldn't be more grateful to get to teach them some stuff that I feel really passionate about and that I hope that they really enjoy. So a couple things. We are essentially working our way in two different directions. One, I want them to get their first experience in an AP class and really have a feel for what it's about, what it's like, what the reading is like. And so as sophomores, they're very young, and it is, for many of them, going to be challenging just from the level of reading and just from all of the different areas that we're going to pull sources from. On the other hand, I hope by the end of the year, they feel so much more confident going into the next 2 years if they do continue to take AP courses. So there's a huge learning curve ahead of them. And then ultimately, even if they don't feel super confident, because most sophomores don't, by the time we get to May, I hope that they feel ready to take the AP exam, which hopefully this year will be running as normal, and basically get that experience to see what a challenging exam that's timed, that covers a wide range of history, what that actually feels like. And the tricky part is, since it's European history before US, it's actually a little more tangled, a little more complicated. They have a lot of countries to keep straight. And so it's a tough one to begin with, but I hope it's a rewarding one. So a little bit about myself. This is my second year teaching AP European history, but I have been teaching history for quite a long time. This is my 19th year at Sonora High School. And for most of the time I have been here, I have taught history, mostly world. And they also, at some point, encouraged me to get a second credential. So I also have an English credential, which works out really well for this class. So I've taught all the different levels of English as well. And since this course really is best when bringing in documents and secondary items from different parts of history, it's very helpful that I've done a lot of literature. And so there'll be different things that we do pull in that I find really help students imagine the time period, understand it better, whether it's works of literature, pieces of art. When we're back in class, we'll even occasionally play examples of music just so they can get a feel for the time period, which all of it helps them really capture the major themes that we need to cover for AP, which is things like change over time, political changes versus social, cultural changes, all those different things. It becomes really complicated, but if they can attach to different examples, it's usually quite a bit easier. So in the first part of the course, we're dealing with a brand new textbook this year, and luckily we have some supplementals that they're going to start using, and all of it will be to help them navigate through the big picture of history while also working through lots of different primary documents. And the first ones are the hardest because they're the oldest. And then as we move through history, they get easier and easier. So in time, we'll start incorporating a couple of the different techniques that they're going to need for the test. So in essence, the AP Euro course needs them to acquire facts and knowledge and have that base, but then also be able to organize it into a well-written essay, think through pretty challenging multiple choice questions, and use primary documents. So we will begin practicing those techniques with short essay questions, long essay questions, and then the very exciting DBQ, which is a document-based question. And that's why all the way along, we're going to be practicing different skills so that when they begin to put all of those things together, it's hopefully less intimidating. But we don't do it all at once. As I said, we take one step at a time, and by the end, we will be capping it all off. Ideally, if April runs as expected, by that month, we should be getting into some review, and then end of the year with some more current things. So I'm very excited to be able to teach this class. I look very much forward to having them back in person. There are definitely limitations with distance learning, but as I said, I really appreciate their willingness to adapt. They are really impressive as far as their reading ability already to this point. And as I told them, right now, it's very difficult to do anything that's not open book, but at the same time, learning material is learning material. So we're doing the best that we can. And when we come back, we'll use some different techniques. But in the meantime, please don't hesitate to ask if you are concerned. I always like students to talk to me first because we usually have the best conversation, but you're absolutely a part of this. And most importantly, encouraging them along the way. It's a different type of class. And to be honest, it's in many ways kind of like a college class. So for a sophomore to be able to do that is really, it's really something. So they need your support, they need your encouragement, and because they are the kinds of students they are, they need to remember they don't have to get 100% on everything to be doing well. We talked about that a little bit. And I did tell them, since they can't write in the book, if you're gonna get them any supply like school supply that might be helpful, being able to reference things quickly is great. So, invest in a few Post-it notes and they'll be really thankful, I would imagine, down the line, just so they're not going through the very, very large textbook all the time, trying to remember where was that? That's one piece of advice I tried to pass on to them. Other than that, as I said, I wish I could be meeting you in person. I look forward to meeting them in person. But thank you very much for taking the time to watch and share your children with us here. And I hope you have a really good rest of your day.